Welcome to today's lesson. It is July 22nd, and we're just about on the home stretch here where we can finish up all the hard work for this second summer session. And today I chose a topic that several of you have been looking at, and it has to do with percentage increase or decrease. And there are a couple common mistakes that I'm seeing as far as the answers that you are submitting. So I wanted to touch on this topic and then just touch base about what's coming up for the rest of this session, which is only a week and a half left. Well, it's 2 weeks if you consider just school days. And so with that, I want to look at this topic of percentage increase or decrease. Now, if I just asked you how much the price increase or decrease, not a percentage, just how much did it increase or decrease? What we would do is we look at the question. The price of an item yesterday was 140. Today the price rose to 378. So again, if we ignore the word percentage right now, we said how much did it increase? We would take 378 minus 140 to see that the increase was $238. So that is the number of dollars that it increased. Only thing we have to do now is figure out what percentage is that. Well, the original price was 140. This is how much it went up. So with that, I've got to figure out what percentage is 238 of 140. Now when I divide those, I get 1.7. So it is 1.7 times bigger than 140. And all I have to do to convert that into a percentage is that right there. Multiply by 100%. Oops. So you find out how many dollars it went up. And in this case, that's $238. And then you'll divide by whatever the original price was. Now, a lot of times it's not going to be as big as the original price. In this case, it was significantly higher. It was 1.7 times as big. But whatever it is, I multiply by 100%, and that is the percentage. So originally it was $140, and that went up 170%. 170%. One thing I want to point out is what does it mean if there's just a 100% increase? So with this, if the original price was 140, that's the original. And then the new price is 140. That would go up 0%. If the original price was 140 and the new price is 280, that means it went up $140. And you'll notice a similarity. The original was 140. The increase was 140, so that's what we call a 100% increase. And so you can use that as kind of a comparison to 100%, whether it's going to be more or less than 100%. In this case, it went up $238, which is more than 140. That's why it's bigger than 100%. So that is the first one. Now I'm going to see if I can switch slides here. The price of an item has dropped to $78 today. Yesterday it was $120. So the original price was $120. Now it is $78. Now it is $78. So again, I've got to figure out how much it went down. Now, it really does not matter whether you take 78 minus 120 or 120 minus 78. what we're trying to figure out is how much did it change. So here I would get negative 42. Here I would get positive 42. As long as you understand the concept, either way is fine. The number 42 is what matters, because we already know that it decreased. So whether we see a negative there or not, there was a $42 change in price. Now the question is, do I take 42 divided by 78 or 42 divided by 120? You always divide by the original price, whatever it started out as, because that's the amount that's changing. So it changed 42 out of the 120 that was the original. So I'll take that and I will divide, and I would get 0.35. Now if you use the negative 42, that would just be a negative 42 and make this a negative 0.35. But again, as long as you know it's a decrease, it should already make sense whether you actually have the negative there or not. So it decreased 0.35, which if I multiply that by 100%, that would be a 35% decrease. And that's how you would write it. You wouldn't necessarily write negative 35% there in ALEKS. If you're describing it, obviously there is a time and a place where you may write negative 35%, and that would represent a decrease, and that's fine. I'm just talking about putting it into ALEKS. You would just write a 35% decrease. So again, one of the main points here is you always divide by the original number. Whether it's increasing or decreasing, you divide by the original. You're trying to find out what percentage of the original price did it change. Okay. Now as we move to, let's do one more example here. As we move to this one, I'm going to pause just for a second, but you can also pause the recording and see if you can solve this one on your own. I'll just give you a second to pause if you would like. All right, so we're looking at an original price of 130, a new price of 169. So how many dollars did it change? There was a $39 increase in this case. $39 increase. The question remains, do I divide by the new price or the original price? The answer is the original. I always divide by the original. So 39 over 130, because again, that's my original price, and I will get 0.3. In order to find out what percentage that is, I multiply by 100%. So there was a 30% increase. If it asks you to write the word, that would be a 30% increase from yesterday to today. So again, you subtract to find out how many dollars there is difference, and then always divide by the original price. Whether it's increasing or decreasing does not matter. Always divide by the original price to find the percentage. I hope that is helpful, and please let me know if you have questions on that topic. Thank you so much. Bye.